Thank you guys for joining us today for HEX Bash coverage. My name is Adam Sakata. You can call me Snake. We also have Paul Spencer hiding in the background, aka InfamousNeo, and of course Nicholas Perdrasky, aka Penta. So we're glad to be here with you guys today to bring you coverage of the $1,000 HEX Bash tournament.
We have a match. So there's been some talk going around of a player who has a fairly good record at this point, 5-1 going into round 7, running a champion that I don't think anybody was expecting. So we're gonna see if we can find their game. Players talking about the positions that they got into. Congratulations to everybody who placed in the threshold of placements that they wanted to. All right, so both of these players are 6-1. The screen will be coming up soon. And we are going to be watching a match between a Kagalichu player, surprise, and a Two Tomahawks player.
Kagalichu and Two Tomahawks, interesting.
It's almost like we're watching Limited again. Well, they weren't ever in the same format. But Two Tomahawks, of course, the Sacred Banner champion. So for 6 charges, you can create a Sacred Banner, which at the start of your turn creates a Valor and puts it into your hand, and then a whole bunch of Valor cards, whereas Kagalichu is playing really good cards.
Just to sum it up a little bit. See, Intrepid Conjurer there over for Xadouz. Is that the correct... Again, I'm terrible with names, so I apologize in advance.
Xadouz. Yeah, Xadouz. Xadouz. I'm sure any of those are okay.
Yeah.
So we do have the Intrepid Conjurer, like you said, which whenever you play a Valor on it, makes another Intrepid Conjurer as a one-shot, which gains the one-shot to then become a really big wall of Conjurers. We see the Heart of Embers and we see the Ardent Crusaders. Also see the Ashwood Firebrand, which is just kind of a cute addition. And I mean, really, there's not much else to say about the hand we see at the top. Kagalichu players have been playing good hands all day. I have to wonder if this particular one was keepable. He does keep it. This is Garantzygfryd. And I mean, it's a little bit slow. But he's looking at a Two Tomahawks player, so I'm not really sure he knows what to play.
It's just probably true. So turn 1 Xadouz, we see Diamond Shard into Intrepid Conjurer as we go over to Garantzygfryd.
It's quite the name.
It is. There's some interesting names in Hex. I love Hodor. I love that name. There's quite a few good names here. People with their names. 2 damage, though, going to hit Garantzygfryd for 19. Cottontail Explorer. We'll see what it hits. Looks like a Hero Fall goes into the crypt. And there's a Valor. So Valor on the Intrepid Conjurer. Going to go ahead and create another one. We also see that Gust Mage off the top.
Yeah, these Intrepid Conjurers can get out of hand very quickly. As far as 1-drops go, fairly intricate, right? You've got a 2-1 for 1, which is okay by itself, and then it's got everlasting value. It's the kind of thing that you really want to remove. That being said, Kagalichu can put down 4/4s with Skyguard and Steadfast for 3, so it's a little hard for them to give up too much ground here. We are going to see another Intrepid Conjurer created as the second one becomes Valorous. No resources here for Two Tomahawks, making it really rough to get, like, they want to get that Heart of Embers onto the board. Getting a Heart of Embers onto the board would be real big for them here.
Garantzygfryd, yeah, getting closer to Rotten Rancor. We see Underworld Crusader going to swing it in here for 4. We'll see if Xadouz wants to block this. And the double block here with Strangle taking out one of them, so removing both of those Conjurers as we go back to Xadouz. Finds a resource. Go ahead, and it's a little bit of a slow shard. Goes ahead and plays that out.
Whoa.
Wild.
And they went for a wild instead of the second Ruby they need for Heart of Embers. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense because we did see a Feral Root Acorn earlier, so there must be a Wild Splash in the deck, probably something like the Satyr's Roost Bard.
So Garantzygfryd here at 5 has some options. We see the attack, Cottontail Explorer, Underworld Crusader. We'll see that chump take 1.
Yeah, just trying to prevent some damage here as they buy time. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rancor bring a Crusader back out, but maybe that's a bit aggressive.
No,
okay. Gets rid of that Intrepid Conjurer, which stops it from being the threat it could have been. Ardent Officer socketed up with Gladiator. Gladiator, a new keyword from the Frostheart set released about 3 months ago. On your opponent's turn, your troops have Gladiator X worth of defense, and on your turns, they have X worth of attack.
And culmination of blood here, just ripping Xadouz's hand completely out.
Yeah. Fortunately, that Gladiator does make the Crusader a better blocker than it could be. And sadly, we see the next threshold picked up, so we could have almost seen those Heart of Embers come down. But things aren't looking good. Garant is probably just going to drop a well, void out the Ardent Crusader, and start swinging for Hyper Mega Lethal.
Making a decision here what to want to do. Here comes Rot Paw Gang, so into a Well of the Ancients.
Sure. A little safer, I guess, to get the Rot Paw out. Your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand, so I don't think the Secret was that rough, but...
So back over to Garantzygfryd.
Oh, somebody in chat calling me out. Yeah, if they void the Ardent Crusader, they'll void their Underworld Crusaders. That would be silly. Yeah, that's why they are not doing that.
So sacrificing for flight and life drain. So 6 in, 6 out. 12-point swing here for Garantz.
Hard to be upset.
And we'll see that Paw of Yazucan come down. Arguably probably going to hit that Crusader. Then it creates the 1/1 Flyers. And here comes the swing.
Oh. Yeah, this lets him swing with everything. You see the triple block to get rid of one of the Underworld Crusaders. And now 2 Tomahawks has to draw 3 or 4 cards.
Feral Root Acorn's not going to do it. And
no.
Garantzygfryd will take game number 1.
Game number 1, but I do want to holler back to the fact that this is a 2 Tomahawks deck that's 5-1 in round 7.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is not, we're not just watching a random match. There was play here for top 16 for sure.
And it's good to see people playing
top 8.
Tomahawk.
Top 8.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, I misspoke there even. The winner of this match should be top 8. 6-1 should be top 8 for sure.
All right. So game number 2 is up, and let's take a look at opening hands.
It's going to flash for a second because I'm bad at OBS.
All right, so for Xadouz, looks like a Diamond Shard, Ruby Shard, Gravebane Vial, Heart of Embers, Ardent Crusader, the Gust Mage, and the Ashwood. Over for Garantzygfryd. Looks like double Blood Shard, no Wild Shards in hand. Interesting. Cottontail Explorer, Underworld Crusader, Massacre, Hero Fall, and a Rotten Rancor.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kagalicha toss this back for a hand with Wild. They don't have a whole lot of game here, but they are on the draw, and sometimes when players are on the draw, they choose to keep a little greedy, and we actually don't see that. Very shortly, you'll see there is a mulligan into, well, I want to call this a more reasonable hand. Maybe not the best Kagalicha hand I've ever seen. It actually looks a little bit more like a Redling's hand.
It does a little bit. It does indeed. But still better than the hand he had before. We see Gus Mage turn 1 for Xadouz, creating that Valor as he goes and passes the turn over to Grants. He'll play that Wild Ice, probably looking for a resource. And we'll pass the turn. Cobblestone for Xadouz. And Ruby Shard comes down. So Firebrand will join the Gus Mage. Valor created. No swing.
The Valor squad.
Yeah, right.
I love the concept of Valors. I was a little bit sad to see it really only get like a little bit of support, but there's certainly playable decks with Valors in them. Valor, of course, being an action generated by other troops you control that gives +1/+1 and the keyword Valorous to the troop. Valorous as a keyword doesn't do anything.
War-Torn General here for Xadouz, so Valor going to be put onto the Firebrand. +1/+1 onto the War-Torn General. As a result, 3 damage will take Garantzygfryd down to 18. Moonsagi coins and into an Emperor's Lackey, so now has a 4/4 blocker. Oh, a second War-Torn General, so back-to-back War-Torn Generals.
That's pretty good. So the second War-Torn General is going to make the first War-Torn General activate and gain a Valor. Xadouz is going to choose to put all of those Valors up onto the Firebrand to encourage a swing here to get through. And Garant is just going to take it on the chin. Going to get to put down the second Lackey, but we could actually see some nonsense here. Those Valors can very quickly get out of hand because every Valorous troop you control will give the War-Torn Generals +1/+1. And every Valorous troop that you control will swing with Swift Strike as long as the Ashwood Firebrand is swinging. And the Heart of Embers, which might come down here, will deal 3 damage to target player or champion every time a Valor is played. So this could be over in 2 turns.
Wow.
I'm going to see Ardent Crusader drop down. Fair enough.
Crusader with that Valor on top of the Firebrand. Here comes the swing. 5/4 Swift Striker. Garant's going to go ahead and take that. Go to 9.
Yeah, choosing to stack all those Valors on the Firebrand, just like almost encouraging the removal there. Now, we did see a Massacre in Garant's opening hand that he mulliganed. And we see a slew of removal that he could use if he was at Double Blood.
Yeah, Double Blood being a huge factor here for Garant. He would be able to use Hero Fall, Strangle. Going to go ahead and use his Champion Power. Gets that that Blood Shard.
So already played a resource for the turn, so that'll help next turn. But, of course, there's some really crazy things that could happen here. Those 2 Valors can be used to buff up. Yeah, so both of the War-Torn Generals can become 5/5s here. And then this swing is lethal. Now, this is a fairly safe swing. Almost all removal that the Kagalichu decks are running these days are Double Blood, but not the Gemborn Prowler, which sacrifices which voids the Ardent Crusader, which saves Garant for a turn. But wow, Sign of
Livanth. Yeah, I see that. Garant's at 4. We'll play that Blood Shard out, so Hero Fall available, but staring down quite a formidable board here. And it is the Satyr's Roost Bard. You did call it, Penta, so that's the wild inclusion in this deck.
That makes a lot of sense, really. It's about the only thing that the wild would really bring to this matchup. And it's also an elf, which makes for the Feral Root Acorns to have more play.
Hero Fall going to go ahead and take care of one of those generals. However, the rest of the damage is going to be more than enough, even with a Strangle, 6 damage. And Xadouz will tie this up and force a game number 3.
Well, We're getting there. We're getting to game 3. Again, the winner of this will top 8, so a lot on the line.
Again, we're casting round 7 of the HEX Bash tournament, round 7 of 7. Top 8 players will move on to the single elimination constructed round. So all these wins are very important to try to secure that.
All right, the game is back up on the screen.
All right, here we go. So again, both players tied at 1-1. Very important win to try to secure the top 8. Garantzygfryd here with a double blood shard hand, one soggy lily pad, hero fall, strangle, underworld crusader, and cottontail explorer. Over for Xadouz, we see a ruby shard, diamond shard, fail root acorn, a shard of life, a ardent crusader, a intrepid conjurer, and on the left, that satyr roost bard.
Yeah, so this is optimal opening hands for both players, with the exception that Xadouz doesn't have a Valor generator, like doesn't have a War Torn General or a Gust Mage to start the Intrepid Conjurer chain. And that could really punish him here with Garant's more removal heavy hand. He's probably happy to see a hand with 2 blood threshold after the first opener. And both players are going to keep. So we'll see how this game goes.
So slow shards from both players as we go back to Garant. Finds a lily pad. Blood Shark comes out. Cottontail Explorer. We'll bury 3. Except the resources will go to hand. Eternal Seeker will go to the crypt. Back to Xadouz. Finds a diamond threshold. Here comes that Intrepid Conjurer. And followed up by the second Intrepid Conjurer. So Blood Shard into Underworld Crusader. Skyguard Steadfast is the gem it's socketed with. As we go to Xadouz, finds a resource. Ruby Shard will come down. Ardent Crusader. Looks like it has Fate Weave on it.
Yeah, it doesn't need that Gladiator necessarily in this matchup. I would think it'd be worth keeping against the Underworld Crusaders, but the eternal struggle between the Underworld and the Ardent Crusaders here.
Lily Pad for Garantz creates a Battle Hopper. Kagalichu activation finds an Emperor's Lackey.
Xadouz really needs some Valors here. Might explain why he's running 2 Tomahawks, although we've never seen it activated in these matches. Another Satyr's Roost Bard, not quite there. I almost wonder if it would be worth having a Galvanize socket in, like, let's just say Rift Warp Badger for the sake of it here, for the sake of getting the 2 Tomahawks charge power out. But at that point, maybe you're just running Haraza.
So double Saber Roost Bard.
Yeah, so the Satyr's Roost Bard gets +1/+1 for every Valorous troop on your board when you play it, which in this case is none. But it does have the additional benefit of drawing a card for every Valor that you play. So what Xadouz is going for here is the hope that they will survive. And at the end of turn, 1 is going to be strangled off. And at the start of turn, one is either going to be strangled off or hero fault. Xadouz actually saying in chat that he does have a galvanized troop.
So sitting on double strangle and hero fall for Garant.
Yeah, that's exactly the hand he needs here. He can just slowly whittle down the board while he looks for the bigger threats in his deck, the Ron Rancors, the Eternal Seekers. Xadouz getting close to being able to activate his charge power.
And here comes the swing, the Underworld Crusader and the Lackey.
So this is a repeat from what we saw in game 1. This is the bait attack. This is saying, if you double block me, I will hit you with Hero Fall or Strangle. and get a 2-for-1.
So we see Strangle on the Ardent Crusader, creating those phantoms. So a chump block here. 3 damage gets through to Xadouz, takes him to 18. And another Strangle, so that's Xadouz Bard joining the previous one, both being strangled by Garant.
I feel like that was Xadouz's way back into the game, is those Xadouz Bards. Is he really needed those to be there when he started playing the Valors so that he could gain the card advantage back while also gaining a board advantage off of the Intrepid Conjurers. Another shard, just you got to feel it in your heart. Whether you're a limited or a constructed player, you see somebody draw another shard in a situation like this, and you know it feels bad. And we can actually see the hero fall on the Conjurer, which is probably going to be met with another hero fall on the Conjurer here. Maybe not. Let's see the swing first.
Gonna take that damage, so goes to 9. Here comes another Underworld Crusader. Still has hero fall available. Finds a Pride's Fall, so Pride's Fall definitely can be an answer. But
Yes.
unfortunately not enough. Hero Fall going to take out that Intrepid Conjurer, so Valor has not a target to go to, and we'll go to the Crypt, and here comes a resource, and unfortunately for Xadouz, he is in a really tough spot here. That's going to do it. And Garant will take this down to 1.